Well, here we are, folks. Nebraska football falls to Illinois 31-24 in an overtime. I don't even want to say thriller. It was a joke. It was a joke. And I knew, the second we went to overtime, it was going to be a joke. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that statistic out there that Nebraska hasn't got a first down in overtime in over, a decade? Yeah, that didn't end today. And I was sitting there next to my dad, and I asked him, how could we possibly mess this up on that first offensive drive after Illinois 2 points? Well, you saw what happened. You saw how they could do that. False start, sack, intentional grounding. What do we have, like a third down and 40? I'm embarrassed. There's not many times where I sit here at Memorial Stadium and I'm walking outside the game and it is just nobody's talking. Nobody's saying anything right now. That just replicates my entire thing. Again, I felt like we were going to win this game. Really, really felt good about it. Quietly confident. Here we are. Here we are, guys. Absolutely terrible mistakes. And again, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about everything that went on. Kicking situation, obviously, is a huge storyline. That was a joke. You're missing that field goal. It was a chip shot. It was a chip shot field goal, guys, and we missed that. Absolutely bricked it. Ed Foley, again, I know a lot of people on Twitter and everywhere they're saying, Ed Foley needs to go. I'm not sure about that because we know that Matt Rhule does not fire his friends. I'm not really going to say whether or not I think Ed Foley should be fired. Time will tell. But the special teams, again, let us down once again. I thought the biggest storyline in this game was how we got manhandled on our offensive and defensive lines. Okay, the defensive line was horrendous today. Okay, Ty Robinson, horrendous. Nash, horrendous. Jamari, horrendous. Cam, horrendous. All of them. They get Fs, F grades. Okay, I have never seen a running back have so much success. Again, McCray, for example, biggest hole of his life on that opening play in overtime. Just walked into the 5-yard line. Again, this defensive line got manhandled. We had no pass rush the entire day. The only time we ever got to Altmaier's when he stepped up in the pocket and went back to the line of scrimmage because nothing was there. So, again, this defense, and I told you guys this. I was going to tell you guys this. We will find out how good Nebraska is by the end of this game. Okay, I told you guys, I don't know how good we are. Okay, we beat Colorado. Colorado's not a good team. We beat Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa's not a good team. We beat UTEP. UTEP is not a good team. We will find out how good Nebraska really is depending on how we perform against Illinois. I think we figured out how good we are. We're not good. Okay, we got exposed today. We got exposed for the team that we really are. I still think we're an okay team. I think we're a team that can compete in the Big Ten and still can win 7, 8, 9 games. But all this college football talk, get the heck out of here with that. That's gone. That's dead. That should have never even started in the first place. Okay, this defense was horrendous. We gave 31 points today. And there were people who were telling me all week that we weren't even going to give up 24. Okay, our defense was horrendous in all aspects. Again, the defensive line is I'm going to pick on them the most because they had the worst game. But the secondary was not great. Tommy Hill, he did not play a snap in the second half due to injury, but when he did play, he was awful. Awful. Pat Bryant had a free touchdown on that first drive because of Tommy Hill and his ineptitude. So this defense in general had a very poor performance. It's so frustrating, guys, because this is the Nebraska football we know and love. And I was trying to tell you guys this. Again, I'm optimistic about this program. And that's why it hurts me because I once again, we got roped into all these expectations, got roped into, thinking we could be competitors in the Big Ten. And then we get hit by, a good game against a good team and we lose just like we always do. Like we always do. And you know what Illinois people were telling me all week? They said, Matt Rhule can never win the big game. He's never done in his entire career. He's never won the big game. Unfortunately, I'd like to say those Illinois fans are right as of right now. Matt Rhule still hasn't won the big game. Again, I'm not blaming Matt Rhule for this loss. That's stupid. I'm not going to be one of those guys. But, man, who do we blame for this loss? Because we played awful as a team. And I told my dad right when we lost, right when it was over, I said, we should have lost by more. I mean, we really should have. Now, the refs were horrendous today. But the refs were not the reason we lost. So let's get that out of the way. The refs were awful. At the end, this offense stalled out again, guys. And I told you guys as well, we cannot have an offense stall out in the second half like we've had in the past. Okay, we was 17-10 going to halftime. We scored 7 points after that. The offense stalled out once again. And Raiola, once again, missing a wide open man in the end zone to potentially win the football game. Okay, Luke Lindemeyer streaking wide across, and of course you miss it, right? Because we can't have good things. We can't have good things here in Nebraska. And I just don't understand. Like, there are times where you have teams like Nebraska, really gritty, might not be having the best day, but they find ways to win. Iowa does it all the time. Iowa can play awful for 3.5 quarters and still win the football game. But that can never happen in Nebraska, guys. I'm not calling it luck. I don't know what it is. I'm embarrassed. Like, I'm incredibly embarrassed, guys. This was an embarrassing game. This was an embarrassing game to be part of. It was an embarrassing game to go to. Friday night, all the vibes were high. The 400 sellout. Nebraska fans came out in droves. And to have that performance that we did, and again, we led for the majority of this ball game, but our defense was so horrendous. I can't even put into words. Like, I haven't seen the official end game stats. I'll have to look at it. But I know in that first half, we only gave up like 3 yards a carry. I can't imagine what it was in the second half. Probably 10 yards a carry. Unbelievable. And I'll talk about our defensive line getting manhandled. Our offensive line got manhandled as well. We could not run the football today. It wasn't Dante Daddle's fault. It was simply our offensive line was getting manhandled by their D-line. They shut it down. Illinois dominated us in almost every single aspect of the ball game. Almost every single aspect. You know, and I'm going to give credit to a couple guys who played well for Nebraska. Dylan Raiola, of course, besides that missed touchdown catch, I thought he played very well. Isaiah Nair is going to be my offensive MVP. Balled out. Jamal Banks, that was my prediction to be the offensive MVP. He had a great game as well. It was not a wide receiver issue today. It was not a quarterback issue today. It really even wasn't an offensive issue today. It was a defensive issue, and that shouldn't be the case in the unit that we thought was going to be one of the best in college football. It's incredibly frustrating. So the walk of shame, again, my least favorite walk. Again, I remember when we did this live stream against Colorado, everybody's, I'm walking back to my car and everybody's laughing, having a good time. Oh, we got a big victory against Colorado. Not today. Not today. It's silence. My least favorite walk. Yep. But just horrendous. And again, the story of the game was we did not win the battle of the trenches. That was going to be it. Going into the Big Ten play. It was going to be whether or not we were going to win this ball game. If we could dominate the trenches, dominate time possession, win the turnover battle, we didn't do that. Let's get to your guys' comments here. Nathan says, yeah, the trenches issue, absolutely. And that's where it all stems. Again, Raiola played fine. The wide receivers played fine. The running backs played fine. I thought our secondary did enough. I thought our linebacker core did enough. John Bullock had a really good day. I didn't see the final stats, but I imagine John Bullock led the team in tackles again. I imagine he did. So, again, it was a defensive line issue. It was an offensive line issue. I'm incredibly pessimistic about where we're going from here. Just incredibly annoyed. I can't believe I bought into this dang defense, and I thought it was a top 10 unit. I can't believe it. Again, I don't want to get too mad here because I'm in public walking around. People are already looking at me like I'm stupid. But, man, awful trench performance from a unit that we literally thought. It's one thing to have a bad performance and you think your offensive line's okay or decent. It's another thing to have a awful performance and you thought your defensive line was one of the best in the country going into it. Unbelievable. Sear actually did well. Yeah, I thought Sear Wright played very well. And again, Tommy Hill struggled when he bought in the ball game. I thought Sear Wright had a good day. I thought Marcus Buford had a good day. Again, it really wasn't a whole defensive issue. It was a trenches issue because we knew that Illinois wanted to run the dang football. They did exactly that. And didn't have any trouble doing that. Put Mizuka in the game, coach. Oh, yeah, can we talk about that? Thank you for reminding me. Again, our offensive line for the second week in a row really struggled running the football. We couldn't get any push. Mike Mizuka didn't play a snap. Coach Rhule, don't suit him up if you're not going to play him. Because we really needed Micah today. Really needed him. Absolutely embarrassing stuff. No bowl game. I wouldn't go that far. But hey guys, oh my goodness. I tweeted out, breaking news. Put Micah Mizuka in. Our offensive line is getting no push. It was just liked by Micah Mizuka on Twitter. I just got a notification. That's breaking news right there. So Micah Mizuka not happy, clearly, because I tweeted that out like an hour ago that we should put Micah Mizuka in. He just liked the tweet in the locker room. I can tell you everything you know, guys. So there you go, breaking news. here on the Will Simmons Sports live stream that Micah Mazuka just liked my tweet saying that we should put him in the ball game. He did not place in a snap because Matt Rhule, again, wants to stand on culture. We could have won this ball game if Micah played. Again, I'm not going to put the whole thing on Micah and say, oh, we were definitely going to win if he played, but he could have been a reason. So interesting that he's disgruntled, though. Interesting, because, again, he just liked my tweet. That's journalism right there. People take that for a fact. We got out-coached simple. Again, Brett Bielema is now, 3-1 against Nebraska as Illinois' head coach? Even better when you consider his record at Wisconsin against us. He knows how to beat us. He knows how to beat Rhule. He knows how to beat Frost. Saw it again today. Get ready for some transfers this week? No. Nobody's leaving. Nobody is going to transfer. But I'm sure they're disgruntled. Again, we saw with Micah Mazuka. He just liked my tweet saying that we should put him in the ball game. Just saying, guys. Don't be ashamed of buying into this defense. No one thought the D-line would ever be that bad. Yeah, this is the worst defensive line performance from Nebraska I've seen, since Matt Rhule took over. And this was supposed to be the best defensive line we've had since the Malik Collins era, 10 years ago, a decade ago. Just awful, guys. That's how good of a dude Wilson is. He says, darn, and then has to check himself. Well, I try not to say stuff like that, guys. I'm just really angry today. Really, really angry today. Really embarrassed, really ashamed. Again, it's life of being a Nebraska fan, though. Never get your expectations too high. Somebody came in my live stream earlier today. We were doing a pregame live stream, and he said, Wilson, I'm not bought in. I don't believe. I think we're going to lose just because I've seen the story too many times. And I said to that guy, no, you should believe. And now I feel ashamed because I told somebody to sip the Kool-Aid, and look where we are. The same old story. We've seen the story. We can't win close games. It's never changed. It didn't change last year. It's not changing this year. And you want to know one of the reasons why we can't do that? We can't win the turnover battle, and we simply cannot freaking kick the football. How hard is it to find a Division I kicker? We haven't figured out the kicking situation since Mike Riley, since Drew Brown was our kicker 8 years ago. Guys, it's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me how bad the special teams is. And shout out to Brian Bushini. He had a really good day. Ed Foley, again, I don't know what needs to happen with Ed Foley because there was smoke this offseason that he would be on the way out or at least in a reduced role. We didn't see that happen. He ended up staying as special teams coach. But part of me wishes that did happen. Because holy cow, he was terrible last year, terrible this year. I don't know what Ed Foley's doing, but he's clearly not doing anything. There you go. He's not doing anything. That's your answer, guys. That's your answer. And again, I was okay with John Hull going out there because, again, I've had this take for a while. We've seen Tristan Ovano miss field goals time and time again. Now it's time to see John Hull miss a field goal, and he did. So not only do we have one crappy kicker, we have multiple. Awesome. Thanks. We played ourselves. We played ourselves, guys. We played ourselves. Absolutely horrendous. And again, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed because I bought the hype and I was so focused on how we can get our ranking up, how we can be top 15, how we can be in the mix for the college football playoff, this, that, and the third. It doesn't matter if you can't win the damn football game, guys. It does not matter. We got out-coached. We got out-schemed. They had more talent than us on the field. They dominated in almost every single aspect of the ball game, especially in the second half. I don't think there were many times in the first half where I thought we were going to lose. In the second half, the entire time I thought we were going to lose. Just because of the way we were playing, the way we were getting out-coached, the momentum on Illinois sideline. The stadium was dead. The stadium had no juice, no life, because they knew what was coming, because we've seen the story too many damn times, guys. Too many times. How many times have we seen this over the last 7 years of our lives? 7 years. 5 years under Frost, 2 years under Rhule. We cannot win close games. We cannot beat good teams. We have not beaten a ranked team since 2016. We have not beat a ranked team since 2016. That is not ending today. When all the cards were in our favor, we were at home. It was our 400 sellout. It was a Friday night. All eyes on us, and I don't want to use the words that I was going to use, but we crapped the bed. We crapped the bed. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can't hear this wind. This wind's picking up a little bit. I'm almost to my car, but we got outplayed today. So what are we going to do from here? Well, we play a bad Purdue team. Coming up, so that'll be nice. That'll be nice to play Purdue and hopefully get a win on the road. That's going to be tough, though. It's going to be a tough game. Purdue has won a lot against us. So we blew it. We can't win overtime either. I don't know how many people were confident about us winning when we went in overtime. I wasn't. I hope you weren't, because we've seen the sign nets. We can't win in overtime. We can't win ever. We can't win close games. It doesn't matter the scenario of the close game. We just can't win. And again, that's the first thing that, again, what was the whole mantra this offseason? Chasing three. It was chasing three. Hey, we're still chasing that three because we missed that dang field goal to win the game. Yeah, still chasing three. Matt Rhule, I'm talking to you, my man. I don't blame you for this loss. Not yet. But I'm asking you, Matt Rhule, what are you going to do about it? Chasing three was the mantra. You talked. You did not walk the walk, Matt. You talked the talk. You said chasing three is what we're going to do. We're going to chase those 3 points. But you didn't. You didn't execute. You didn't execute. I'm super frustrated. I'm super mad. I'm just waiting out here for my car and my dad. All right. Hi, Dad. Oh, yeah. I'm live. What? I can't see you. It's too dark. Anyway, Dad, I saw Tom Osborne, though. Guys, I saw Tom Osborne right when I was walking outside the stadium. He did not look very happy, I would imagine. Well, he had the same feelings as everybody else. But yeah, I saw T.O. Yep. Rudolph says we couldn't run the ball. Well, that's because of the offensive line. And Dowdle, I thought, played all right. I thought he played all right. Hey, bro, at the end of the day, it's 1 week. Big Ten opener always going to be a punch in the face. The real test is how they respond. You're right. I completely agree. It's a long year. The year's not. We're still 3-1. We're still in a good spot. We're still in the mix for everything that we want to accomplish. But darn, does this hurt, especially when everybody was talking about 7-0. Like we as fans, and I'm guilty of this, but we look ahead a lot of times. Oh, we're going to look ahead and look at this Ohio State game coming up, or we're going to look ahead and look at the Rutgers game coming up. We don't focus on the present. So we were too busy talking about 7-0 and cultural playoff, and we couldn't even execute when we had a game at home. Johnson has to know where he's at on the field. He's a touchdown. Again, that wasn't. That was just one play. That was a blip in the radar. That wasn't a huge deal. I'm surprised not enough people are talking about the refs in this game. We didn't lose because of the refs, but I expected more people to complain about the refs. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. I'm not watching Ohio State. We'll get killed 55-3. Maybe. Without Dylan, we would have lost 41-14. I could see that, yeah. And Dylan played good today. Besides that bad throw to the end zone that would have won us the football game, besides the one big play he needed to make, he played all right. They'll struggle against Purdue next week. I think so. I agree. And that was always my trap game this offseason. Like we always lose at West Lafayette. We always play poor. I could absolutely see that. Again, I told you guys this week, I told you guys that this game would tell us how good Nebraska really is. How good are we really? Can we compete for the Big Ten? Can we compete, for the college football playoff? Can we just win 10 games? And this answer, even if we won this football game, I would have told you the answer. We're just not good enough yet. That falls on the coaching staff because I believe the talent's good enough. I truly believe. Let me ask you this. Is the talent good enough on this team to win 10 games? Most of you should say it is, because I think it is. So what's the issue? Well, the coaching staff might be the issue. Ed Foley might be the issue. We can throw around blame. It doesn't matter. We didn't execute today. Nathan says Purdue is not a trap game this year. Again, we say that. We say that, but we just lost to Illinois. And we've struggled in West Lafayette in the past. So I think any game could be a trap game if we play as poorly as we did the last 2 weeks. Again, we shouldn't be looking over at anybody right now, Nathan. Like I know Purdue's pretty bad, granted, but we shouldn't be looking over anybody right now. Got to get a kicker, change the entire game. Completely agree. And Illinois didn't have a kicker either today. I don't think they didn't kick a single field goal. Or no, they had one. They had one field goal, but they didn't trust their kicker. Let's see. Trying to get back to the comment section here, guys. Yeah, again, just a frustrating game. Satterfield calling for a bomb pass on 3rd and 3rd in the fourth quarter after a run game finally started to churn. Yeah, I was joking. I said that Mark Whipple might be back at Nebraska because holy cow, I've never seen us throw so much, especially on first down. That was never the key to this ball game. I understand the offensive line didn't play very well, but holy cow, it's a difference. It was a completely different philosophy, guys. Why didn't we choose receive the ball in overtime? You never choose to receive the ball in overtime ever. That's never the philosophy. It's always better to play defense first every single time. Every single time. Go up red. We all bleed red. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll be back. We're back. It is what it is. 400 consecutive salads. The last 100 salads have been highway robbery by university. Oh, that's the my dad started laughing. That's so true. That is true though. That is true. Me and my dad went to some games last year. We went to the Purdue game, and there was probably 50,000 in there. Like it was not even close to 80,000. So you're probably right. You are right. You are right. They'll never end it. They'll never end the sellout streak just because it's the only thing that we have going for us right now. Is losing to Illinois is losing to Illinois why Purdue is not a trap game? Well, I think Purdue is a trap game no matter what. I said that in the offseason. I thought we were going to beat Illinois in the offseason. I still thought Purdue was a trap game, even though I knew they were going to be bad because we struggle in West Lafayette every single year. Raiola INTs are 50-50 with the wide receiver having the ball. Like, yeah, Raiola got screwed. Raiola got screwed. If Nayor caught that touchdown catch, we would have won. We would have won if a lot of things went differently, but they didn't. And what are the odds that we always get pretty unlucky in these scenarios? We get unlucky with the calls. We get unlucky with the interception that just bobbles into the defender's hand. Like I thought it was a good call, to be honest with you, but yeah. Uh, yep. The one score losses are so painful. I know it's tough. It's tough when you start to believe, because I think everybody started to believe. The fan base is really hesitant to believe again. They're really hesitant to put their faith in this coaching staff, to put their faith in the Big Red again. And we were ranked for the first time in 2019. We're coming off a big home victory. Again, it felt like everything was in our favor for this game. It felt like it was finally our time. And then we do what we always do, and we lose the big games. We can't win these big games. Matt Rhule can't win these big games. He never did it at Baylor. He never did at Temple. That was the only con. Okay, when Matt Rhule got hired at Nebraska, everybody acknowledged that he was a great team builder. He's a great disciplinary head coach. But the only con was he could never win those big games. And again, I'm not saying we lost because of Matt Rhule today. I just think it's painfully evident, and it's just coming up again. Justin says the elite defense is a serious problem. Again, I completely agree. And we talked about that early on in the stream, that this defense, again, we bought in this defense being top 20, top 10. It wasn't even top 100 today, especially this defensive line. And I've been singing Ty Robinson's praises. I've been singing Jamari Butler's praises. Those guys did not play great today. And they had every reason to. I'm out disgusted with the team. I don't blame you, Jeffrey. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. This guy says Michael Terry Longhorn. We'll see. We'll see. I don't blame Texas is the number one team in the country. Can we really blame him if he commits to Texas? Like I told you guys this when Dawson Merritt committed to Alabama. Like I don't blame Dawson. Like I want him at Nebraska, but I don't blame him because he committed to Alabama, and Alabama's the better team, and they've always been the better team. So we got exposed for who we really are today, guys. We got exposed for who we really are. And I still think we're a competent team. I still think we can, compete at a pretty high level, win 8-9 games. Like I'm not going to overreact and say the season's over. I'm not going to overreact and say this defense is going to be garbage for the rest of the year. But I'm also going to say this humbles us a little bit. And we should have won this game. We had every reason to win this game, and we didn't execute. We didn't do it. Food for thought, guys. Food for thought. That wasn't a pick the refs robbed us. I thought it was a 50-50. Again, it really didn't matter because I don't think we would have won the game anyways. I mean, we could have, but that's just as a Nebraska fan, you have to know that those calls are never going to go our way because they never have. I thought it was a decent call, to be honest with you. Like I could see either side of the perspective, but I thought it was a pick. Looking at the first time I saw it, I thought absolutely it was a touchdown. Then I saw the replays time again. I was like, that's a pick. But again, I'm not even going to blame the refs today. We're not blaming the refs. Pressure is now off. Raiola was shouldering a lot as a 19-year-old quarterback. He's a great quarterback, no doubt, but the pressure was insane. I thought Raiola played good today. I really did. Again, the offensive line was horrendous.
The offensive line was horrendous. They didn't do him any favors. The offense didn't do him many favors, and the defense certainly did not. USC and Ohio State going to show this team? Probably. But should we have expected to beat those teams anyways? Probably not. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. How many wins after seeing this loss today? And I told you guys in the offseason that I predicted we would start off the season 6-1. We were never going to start off the season 7-0. That's not Nebraska football. That's not the way we do things. Okay. How many wins do you think will we get after seeing today? Because I'm gonna stick to my prediction. I still think we win 8 games. Okay. Still think we win again. I still think we're a solid team. We're gonna beat Purdue, I think, in a trap game, but I still think we beat them. I think we beat Rutgers now. I think we beat Indiana. That's 3 wins right there. That's bowl eligibility. That's 6-1. This is going to humble the team because we were cocky. That's what happens. Happens to every team. We were cocky going to this one. We were cocky. Won't ever win big games without an actual kicker. Again, I told you guys that. Like it was all fun to do this Tristan Alvano song and dance and this John Hole song and dance in those first 3 games where we're going to win no matter what. But when you play these close ball games, you need a kicker. You need a punter. We had a punter today. We just didn't have a kicker, and that's why we lost. We lost because of a million reasons. Jonathan, you're trolling. This guy's trolling. Raiola is not Mahomes 2.0. Raiola played fine today. He's not the reason we lost. So let's not put blame on Raiola. Let's not put blame on Raiola because he was not the reason we lost. He wasn't even the top 20 reasons we lost. Raiola played great. And yeah, he missed that throw in the end zone at the end of the ball game. That was one play. Besides that, he was good. Okay, the offensive line let us down today. The defensive line let us down today. The defense let us down today. Okay, the coaching staff let us down today. So I'm angry. We'll still have a good season, 8-9 wins. I agree. Again, we're fine. But I think this is just a wake-up call to everybody. I think this is a wake-up call to everybody because we had all these lofty expectations. Mike says now Wilson will understand how important it is to have a great kicker in the Big Ten. I don't know where you've been, Mike, but this has been a question mark all offseason. It's not like I'm finally admitting that we have a kicker issue. Like I told you guys this in my deep dive video 2 months ago. I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. I'm sorry, but that's not true. I've told you guys front and center that I'm scared about this kicking situation. Okay, I've been adamant about it. So you're referring to somebody else because I've told you guys that. We'll make a bowl game, not top 12. I agree. We'll make a bowl game this year. We're fine. We're not screwed. We're not, we're not winning 3 games this year. We're not going to go on a crazy losing streak. It's frustrating because we thought we were better than this. We thought we were going to get to that upper echelon, and we're just not ready for it. We're not ready for the big time. We are not ready for the big time. Clear as day. Talented in 2 phases. Special teams are awful other than Machini. I agree. And our gunner situation was awful today. Like, we'd have a punt and, Bushini would just bomb it down the field. And we have Sierra Wright missing a tackle or getting held. And the punt returner will bring it back for 20, 30 yards. Did we even get a sack tonight? I think we had 1 sack, and it was because Luke Altmaier basically fell down. I think that's what we did. We had 1 sack. Yeah, that was really it. We might have had 2. 3rd and 34 in overtime. All I could do was laugh at that point. Same. That's exactly what I did. To turn to my dad and I said, let's just get it. It's over. That's what we do. How can we weren't ever going to get a first down. And we've had that crazy streak. We haven't got a first down overtime in like a decade plus. We can't win close games. So nobody should be shocked that we lost today. Nobody should be shocked that when it got overtime that we lost because we've never been able to do that ever, no matter who the coach is. Okay. Again, we talked. We did the chasing 3 talk. We just did not walk. Didn't do it. I'm done with Nebraska officially. This guy. I'm going to use my weekends doing things that make me happy. You know what? I wish I could be in the same boat as you, Devin. I wish I could do that as well. Yeah, I wish. If I was smarter, I'd be a fan of a good team. But it's just the life that I was born into, and we were all born into this. So we just got to keep going, guys. Our defense looked terrible. Completely agree. At least, but to be completely honest with you guys, at least let's just forget about this game. Enjoy the college football slate tomorrow. Have some fun. Let's still, and at least it doesn't ruin our Saturday. At least it shouldn't. It probably will. It probably still will. Punt team coverage was terrible. Yeah, I just talked about that. It was awful. 6-6. Yeah. 6-6 would be a disappointment. With this easy schedule, with this talent, that'd be a huge disappointment, guys. 5-7 more than likely. I don't think 5-7. Our schedule's too easy. I mean, I don't. I still think we win 8 games, guys. I really do. Yeah. Not having a kicker is an automatic 4 loss in the Big Ten. Yep. Again, I just still think it's crazy the whole Mazuka situation that Rhule basically hit his tail and said, "Oh, I'm going to suit up Micah Mazuka," and he didn't play, even though the offensive line was getting decimated today, guys. The offensive line got decimated. Henry Tusk had a tough day, and we didn't put in Mazuka. And then Mazuka, I tweeted out again at halftime that we should put Mazuka in, and he liked my tweet in the locker room 20 minutes ago. Like, he's not happy with the team either, clearly. So I don't know. I gotta watch my words though, because I love Micah Mazuka, and his grandma watches my channel. So, but Micah should have gotten the ball game, guys. Should have gotten the ball game. The offensive line was awful today too, so we should blame again. It was a team effort. Football's a team game, and we failed as a team today. It wasn't just one unit. It was a coaching staff. It was everybody. You called it about Banks. He had a huge game. Exactly. I was telling, Banks was awesome. And I said, this was the Banks breakout game. I thought he had a touchdown in there. We didn't, but he was still good. Banks was really good. I thought Isaiah Nair is proving, again, let's talk about the positives. Raiola played good. I thought the running backs did all they could, and the wide receivers got open. It was just an offensive line issue, and we just got destroyed in the battle of the trenches. Why can't this team wake up? Because we saw the signs versus Colorado that we weren't a good team. We saw the signs against Northern Iowa that we weren't a great team, but we put them off. And we thought, oh, Matt Rhule's going to fix it by the time we get to Illinois, and we just haven't fixed it. And we still had these pre-snap penalties that killed us. We still had, the false start, the offsides. We had some holdings. We couldn't get a call today, but also we had a million things that went wrong on our end as well. These just small issues that you'll lose games because of. And I told you guys this all week, all off season, man. That's why it's so frustrating me, because we're talking about the same things, not to sound like Brian Kelly, but we're talking about the same things that we couldn't execute. This game isn't on Dylan. I agree. Dylan played awesome. I thought Dylan had a really, really good game. Again, was he perfect? No, he wasn't perfect in any of the games he's played so far, but he did enough to win. The media hyped Nebraska up. Now the media will tear them apart. You know that's what's going to happen. And again, everybody watched this game. That was the two-sided coin here, okay? Everybody watched this game because it was a standalone Fox game on Friday night. If we won, we would have shot the rankings to 15. If we lost, we're going to get crucified by the media. Guys, if you're an avid college game day watcher, do not watch tomorrow, because we're going to get roasted by Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard. They're going to come after us. And honestly, we deserve it because we crapped the bed, guys. Crap the bed. Ryan says, love your content, Wilson. Great analysis, passionate fan. Keep your head up, man. We're going ball for sure. I appreciate it, Ryan. Appreciate it. Just doing my best, guys. And again, I'm frustrated. I know all you guys are too. I'm frustrated. But I'm trying to tell you guys, we aren't in the mix for the Big Ten title. That we got proved that today. We're not in the mix for a college football playoff, but we can still win 8 games. Any idea what happened to Tommy Hill? Yeah, he had a head injury. I think he had a concussion, because he did not play the second half. And he was not playing good when he was in the ball game. So, yep. This guy says we can never have crap, man. I completely agree. Again, we can't have anything go our way. That's just the story of our life, right? Story of everything. We can't have anything go our way. Yep. Illinois might be the third best team we faced this year. No. I think Iowa's probably the third best team. USC, Ohio State, those three. Wisconsin's so good. Like, Illinois, I don't think is as good. Like, we sit here, we thought Northwestern was good when they beat us in 2022, and then they ended up not winning another game. So I don't think Illinois is good. I just think we're not very good. Okay, we had 2 mid teams play today, and the team that was less mid won. Fresh faces making a difference on offense. Time to do the same on defense. And that's a really good point, Darnell. That's a really good point. Anybody notice that Janimer Bonner had less snaps today? We had Jalen Lloyd's ball game more. We had Jacory Barney in the ball game more. So, yeah. Dad, can you give me a Dr. Pepper? Yeah. Rhule can rebuild the team when we need to find a coach. Oh wait, hold on. Let me reread this, Nathan. I'm sorry. I'm angry, man. I'm struggling to read because I'm so angry, guys. Rhule can rebuild the team. then we will find a coach who can win close games. No, let's not even talk about that. I think Rhule's still the guy, but we should blame Rhule partly for this game because he talked the talk all freaking offseason how we're going to win close games and we didn't do it. Okay, did Illinois really win the game or to give it away? Both, but we got dominated in all aspects. If we gave the game away, we would have at least been better than them in like 50, 60% of the ball game. We weren't. We should have honestly lost by more, but we didn't. We're all in this together, man. That's all I'm going to say. Agree with you, Mason. I agree. We're all in this together. Again, I just don't want to overreact. I don't want to be that guy who comes for people's heads and, goes for Ed Foley's head because I know people are doing it on Twitter right now, and I know people are going for Matt Rhule's head. I'm frustrated with this coaching staff. I'm frustrated with this team. But at the end of the day, I still think we're going to win 8 games, and that was what I was expecting from us, period. That was what I was expecting going into this year, so I can't complain too much because I expected 8 wins, and we're probably going to get 8 wins. We're probably going to get 7 wins. I think the talent is darn good. I think the talent's good enough to compete for a Big Ten title. I truly believe it. But there are just so many small issues like these penalties before the snap, like this kicking issue that we just can never fix, and it always holds us back, and we can't win close games. It just hurts, man, because we do everything we can as a fan base. We hype up this team. We do everything they ask of us, man, and this team doesn't give us crap in return, man. And we show up for this team every damn week. I'm sorry for my language. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to say that, but I'm angry, man. And I'm sad. I'm sad above everything else because I believe tonight. I try not to believe too much. I try to drink the Kool-Aid, but moderately, because when you drink the Kool-Aid too much, you sit here and you end up raging. And I don't want to say I'm raging, but you get really angry because you believed and they didn't show up for you. So, yep. This was an instant classic. Both teams played. I don't think we played very well, so I don't think it should have been an instant classic at all. We didn't play good enough for it to be an instant classic. This is one of those games. There are a handful of games that I treat this way that I will never watch again. I am never going to rewatch this game for Nebraska. As much as I may want to as a content creator, I'm not going to rewatch this game because it would hurt too much to rewatch this, folks. I never have rewatched Michigan, Nebraska in 2021. Never rewatched that game, ever. I've never rewatched Nebraska versus Iowa from last year. I will never do it because it brings me too much pain, and I'm not doing that for this game. Alex's thoughts on the late hit play. They were never going to call that. With the right way the refs are calling against us all day, they were never going to call that. They were never going to call that. What does Iowa losing to Ohio State ISU have to do with anything? I didn't talk about Iowa losing to ISU, so I don't know what you're talking about. You should not be angry, bro. That game was a heavy hitter. We didn't play good enough. Illinois is not the team. I don't think Illinois is a great team. I don't think we're a great team. We had a million opportunities to win, and we didn't do it. And again, I'm not going to overact and say we're screwed. I think some people in the chat are overreacting and saying that we're not going to compete for a bowl game. We're going to be in a bowl game. We're still going to win 8 games. But the reason why I'm angry is simply because I thought we were better than this. I thought we could be in the mix for the Big Ten. I thought we could be a top 15 team in America. And as I told you guys all week, we would find out the true team that we really are after today. And we found out we're not that good just yet. So little EJ tonight. He deserves more playing time. Yeah, Emmett Johnson needs to be in the game. It's like I'm a broken record at this point, guys. I thought Michael Mazuga should have got the ball game more. Ja'Cory Barney should be in the ball game every single snap. Ja'Cory Barney should be our starter, along with Nair and Banks. So Nebraska should be proud. Okay, this guy. I know you're not a Nebraska fan. No, we should not be proud. We should not be proud that we lost to Illinois in overtime. We're not doing this moral victory crap because we've done this song and dance before. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Maybe this game will predict Patrick Mahomes to stop pretending to be Dylan Raiola. Or I got to reread that. Convince Patrick Mahomes to stop pretending to be Dylan Raiola. That's funny, man. I like that. Nobody should turn their back on Nebraska and play an amazing game. Again, nobody's doing that. I don't see 8 wins with a kicker, 6 or 7. Yeah, but I think there are games that we're just clearly better than other teams in. I think Illinois compared against us very well. And I think, honestly, they're more talented than us in the offensive line and defensive line department. We saw that today. But I think we're just so much better than Indiana. I think we're so much better than Purdue. I think we're probably so much better than UCLA. So for that reason, I think we can get to 8 games. And, okay, and Vincent Shaver's dad just liked my tweet that I said Nebraska's defense is pathetic. Okay. Guys, can parents and players stop being – I could be negative. Players should not be negative. Oh, man. 4.6 mil on NIL to a field goal kicker. Let's do it. Hey, does Will Reichert still have eligibility? Alabama's old kicker. Let's find him. Let's find Drew Brown. Does he still have eligibility? I mean, come on. Like, why not? Chasing three. If we could hit a field goal, we should win this game. Again, let's just not call our series chasing three if we don't feel confident about our field goal kicking. Can we just not? Hole and Avon are both terrible. No solution there until next season. You're darn right. You're darn right. Again, let's get a transfer. Let's go all in. Let's pay some big bucks. You know, Alabama had a kicking issue last year. You know what they did? They paid big bucks for the Miami of Ohio kicker to come on down. We should do the exact same thing. Tampa, I don't care. Get a kicker. Do it. It's in the portal. Nebraska fans, you have an awesome team. Yeah, I think we still have a good team. We didn't do enough today, man. It's frustrating. These won't only make us better. We got ahead of ourselves. I agree, and I think that's one positive way to look at this game is that's going to humble us a little bit. We were cocky as a team. That's expected. We were cocky. We were cocky as a fan base. This humbles us a little bit. This brings us back down to earth a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. At least we got this loss out of the way. And I told you guys in the offseason that I thought we were going to be 6-1 at the end of these first 7 games. Knowing Nebraska and knowing our history, there's never a world where we were going to start off 7-0. That's just not the way we do things. Okay? It's not the way we do things. So we were always going to go 6-1. We got the loss out of our system. Let's hope we go 3-0 from here on out and have a winning streak going to Ohio State. Let's pray for that. Let's pray for that. Steven says, is there a girl on the soccer team that would be willing to try out for kicker? Hey, man, Vanderbilt did that in the past, and it also wasn't too bad. So, hey, why not? Why not? We should fund a boys soccer team just to have backup kickers. Like, that's the only reason we should fund a boys soccer team is to have that. Or better yet, let's get a Creighton kicker and have him, or a Creighton soccer player and give him to transfer down to Lincoln. Or a Creighton soccer player. Holy cow, I can't talk, guys. You know what? Treasure, I love you. I love you, man, because I know you're not a Nebraska fan, but you are very positive, and you're making me positive. So I appreciate you, Treasure. Appreciate it, my man. Also, everybody, if you're watching this live stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Again, keep putting your comments in chat. But again, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. Don't hate on Illinois. We're 4-0. I'm not hating on you guys. I think you're a good team. You guys outplayed us today. Yeah, I'm not hating on you at all. So you guys played well. Congrats on the victory. I'm not going to be that guy. At least you don't have Jeff Sims anymore. You're darn right we don't have Jeff Sims. You're darn right. We would have lost by 30 if we had Jeff Sims today. We would have lost by 30. No late hit call, no call for the taunt against the kicker, questionable PI. Again, the refs were awesome today, but I'm never going to be that guy to blame the refs above everything else because it was an execution issue from the coaching staff to the players. Okay. Despite the refs, we still had multiple opportunities to win, and we didn't take advantage of it. So, yeah. Let's see here. True, we haven't forced a bite out of. Oh, yeah. Frustration set in. We're about to lose another close game. Oh, frustration sets in when you're about to lose another close game. Yeah, I completely agree. And again, we saw that from the crowd today. The crowd was pretty good for the first half, but when it started to get close to the second half, you could hear a pin drop in the stands, guys. You could hear a pin drop. This fan base has been here before. We're not stupid. We've seen this under Mike Riley. We saw it on Scott Frost, and we've unfortunately seen it with Matt Rhule. And the one thing I'm frustrated about Matt Rhule, and again, I'll repeat this. I've said this before. I'm not blaming Matt Rhule for the loss today. I'm not going to do that yet. But I really, really believe that Matt Rhule is a really good game manager head coach, and that he would win these close games. We have not won a close game with Matt Rhule as our head coach, ever. We've still yet to do it. We've still yet to have a signature victory. This is sad, guys. This is sad. So the D was gassed by the end of the game. Yeah, again, the offense didn't do him any favors because the offense stalled out. Marcus Satterfield was awful having a play call. So again, there were a lot of issues today, guys. A lot of issues. It was a team effort. Team effort in which we lost. Axon says, at least we have a decent slate tomorrow. You're darn right we have a decent slate. We're going to watch a lot of college football tomorrow and hopefully forget about this one very quickly. Maybe we need to sub more Ty Nash a breather every once in a while. I mean, we did do that. We had a lot of defensive line subs in the ballgame. They did not play good today, guys. We had a lot of defensive subs. Nathan says, Illinois deserved the win. We did not. I agree with you. We did not deserve the victory. We should have lost by more. We should have lost by more, especially in that second half. We got outplayed in the second half, just like we've got outplayed in almost every single second half this year. We got outplayed versus Colorado in the second half. We got, honestly, outplayed for the most part against Northern Iowa in the second half. We can't win these second halves, guys. Can't win the second half. Matt Rhule is doing better than Scott. That's a positive. You're darn right, yes. There's a positive. I like that. Again, we can all be frustrated. I'm frustrated just like the rest of you guys, but we can still acknowledge that we're still a decent team. We're still very talented. And I still think we're going to win 8 games. Now, if we sit here next week and we lose to Purdue, then we can press that red emergency button and be pretty frustrated. But we're not in that situation yet, and hopefully we'll never be in that situation. So, yeah. Jeff says Nebraska let us down, but Wilson did it. Hey, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys as always. Do you think we could jump back in the Big 12? No, never. We are never going back to the Big 12. No. And it's not in our best interest to do so. The Big 12 is garbage. They're barely Power 5 football. We're never doing it. We never should do it. The Big 10's where it's at. We just got to learn to overcome these good teams. You got to beat good teams to be good. Okay, we can't run from competition. And we're not going to run for the money, I'll tell you that. The money's in the Big 10. The money is certainly in the Big 10. So let's not have this conversation. We are never going to the Big 12. We are never leaving the Big 10 ever. Volleyball school's negative, Mike. Yeah, let's enjoy the volleyball season. We just got a big win versus Stanford yesterday. Sweep. So let's enjoy the volleyball season a little bit because those girls are playing really good. Except they got swept against SMU, but we're not going to talk about that. Mason says Ed Foley. Yeah. Took the words out of my mouth. Just Ed Foley. That's the only thing we have to say. And again, I'm not going to be that guy to call for Ed Foley's head. Not yet. Not really ever. But, gosh, I mean, it's the same issue we had last year, and there were talks about getting rid of him last year, or at least moving him down and not being the special teams coach anymore. And we decided to keep him as special teams coach, and the same issues are persisting. So, I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do with Ed Foley, but I'm going to tell you one thing I do know is Matt Rhule does not fire too many people. He does not fire his friends. That's one con. He said time and time again he was never going to fire Marcus Satterfield. He was never going to fire Ed Foley. So if you want somebody to fire Ed Foley, it's not happening. Bet K-State, Utah, and Okie State would whoop y'all easy. You're probably right, man. You're probably right. I'm not going to debate you, at least not tonight, about that. I think they would. I think they probably would. DBs giving the wide receivers too much respect. Yeah, you're so right. Again, Illinois never had a big chunk play, at least passing the football. Okay? They just had these little dink-and-dunks to the tight ends, dink-and-dunks to the wide receivers, little quick little out routes, and that's all they needed to do in order to be successful. Marquise Buford had a tough game. He got exploited a lot, man. And this defense just was not who we thought they were. And that's annoying because I thought it was pretty certain that they were a good unit. And, maybe the offense was questionable, but we were very certain about the defense. I think it's the opposite. I think we're pretty solid about the offense. I think the offense is pretty decent, especially except this offensive line. But this defense, man, my gosh, Tony White. And I know Tony White's going to I will say this about Tony White. He's going to get into these guys, and he's going to rip them up this week. It's going to be a tough week of practice for these boys. A tough week practice. Hey, I want to shout out Will Compton. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Will Compton. His pregame videos on the big screen. His this week was really good. I mean, as is every week. But again, I'm just frustrated because the Nebraska fan base does their job. We've done our job for too long, man. But the team never does their job. Illinois played better bottom line. I agree with you. We got out physical. We lost about the trenches. I'm the first to tell you guys that we got outplayed. I'm the first to tell you guys that we did not deserve to win this ball game. I'm not going to point fingers. Like, we just didn't play good enough. We didn't execute enough. We didn't coach good enough. We got out-schemed. Brett Bielema was a heck of a head coach. And I was trying to tell you all this. I told you guys on Tuesday in my preview video that I was scared about this game. And too many people said we should never be scared, that this was an easy win. And I was sipping the Kool-Aid too, so I'm not going to be completely innocent here. But we were too confident as a fan base. We were too confident as a team, and we got spurred. We got spurred, man. Stanford upset Syracuse tonight. Hey, guys, I said in my pregame live stream that I said Stanford's going to win, and I got some hate for that. But, hey, look, I was right. I told y'all What can I say? Threw a shot in the dark. Man. Change practices to chasing third and fourth quarter for the coaches. Satterfield is horrible. Yeah, Satterfield. Is it any surprise that the offense starts to slow down in the second half when the plays are not scripted? When we cannot script things anymore, the offense just starts to get terrible out of nowhere. Is it any surprise that happens? Because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. We needed Mazuka today, says Alan. I agree with you. And again, he clearly wanted to be out there. He was not happy he wasn't playing, and we needed him, and we didn't do it. Again, all y'all who stand on culture, I agree with you. We need a good culture, but it hurts to lose, doesn't it? It hurts to lose. We perhaps lost this ballgame because we didn't have Micah Mazuka. I'm not saying it was the only reason we lost, but maybe if he was out there, we would have had a better chance to win. So you talk the talk this week that, oh, we should sit him because of culture. Now you're walking the walk because we lost. Where are y'all now? Y'all, culture comes first, people, because I believe that culture is important, but I think winning comes first. Okay? I passed Tom Osborne. I left the game. If you guys are just on the stream, I left the game, and I saw Tom Osborne walk out. He was sad. He was dismayed. I almost said something, but I didn't want to because I was pretty sad too. And, I'm sure Tom Osborne disappointed. Ask yourself this. Would Tom Osborne play Micah Mazuka today if he felt like we needed him? I think he probably would. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just saying that winning should come first. Culture is important, but winning comes first. So all the people said culture's first. Now we lost. I hope you should be happy about it because at least our culture's protected, right, guys? There's my tangent. Maybe there's someone on the volleyball team who could help us with our kicking game. I mean, yeah, those girls are pretty tall. They got some long legs. I'm sure they could boot it at least 30 yards. Let's get Andy Jackson out there kicking some field goals for us. Why not? Let's give it a try. I'm worried about this downward spiral for Dylan Raiola 15. No. Dylan Raiola is not the reason we lost today. There's no downward spiral. He'll be fine. This will fuel him. We're fine. We're okay. He did not play bad today. Let's not do that. Mount Rhule being 2-20 versus ranked opponents is tough. Again, yeah. Agree with you, Mason. That was the whole complaint with Matt when he got hired at Nebraska. He was a good team builder. He was a good disciplinary head coach. The only con was he could never win the big game, and that has showed so far in his first 2 years in Nebraska. He's still not yet to win the big game. So, yep. Josh says, I don't think the 3-5 works when we don't have experienced linebackers. I thought the linebackers were fine today. But I agree with you. I think the 3-3-5 doesn't work when your defensive line is not winning the battle of the trenches. And our defensive line was awful today. That's when the 3-3-5 really struggles. When you can't get pressure on a quarterback, it doesn't matter how good your secondary is because a wide receiver is going to get open eventually. Okay, but the passing game wasn't even an issue today. The issue was the running lanes in the second half of those running backs for Illinois because they were getting 10 yards a pop. It was too easy for them. So shame on this defense. Shame on everybody. Need Tom Osborne to come out of retirement? Yeah. I don't know about all that. I don't know about that. Can't win these games when you're without a punishing running attack. Again, and it was the offensive line. Simply the offensive line. They didn't do their job today. Offensive line did not do their job today. Simple as that. Interior offensive line didn't do their job. The tackles didn't do their job. I thought Don Dowdle found the holes when they were provided. I thought, Ramir had provided some good sparks. I thought EJ should have got more reps. I thought the offense in general was fine. But there were two things that the offense fell short on. Number one, the offensive line was poor. And number two, the play calling was bad, as it's been. So, yeah. It is what it is. Us undisciplined football team back with penalties. Again, yeah, exactly. Take the black shirts away. No, we're not doing that. We're not taking the black shirts away. But you're so right. Again, I told you guys at the end of the Northern Iowa game, I was so frustrated because, yes, we won, but I wanted to hold us to a higher standard because I truly believed we could be a 10-win team. That's why I was frustrated against Northern Iowa. And I said we had to clean up these penalties. We have to clean up these pre-snap, crap that we're doing. We have to clean up these turnovers because when you play good teams like, Illinois in the Big Ten, you will get exposed. And we got exposed today, guys, because we didn't clean those things up. What are we doing in practice, man? How is our team getting better throughout the season? Let me ask you that. What has our team done better as the season progressed? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just win. Just win, baby. You're so right, man. Just win. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care what our guys are doing off the field, to be completely honest with you. I prefer for them to be good guys and good members of the community, obviously, but I'm a fan. I want to win. I want to win. Do you think Georgia fans are complaining that they're winning football games despite, yeah, I mean, Georgia has a terrible culture. Their players are getting DUIs every week. Do you think their fans are complaining, though? They're winning every game. I don't think so. Okay. I don't think they're complaining. Just win. Just win. Now you've seen why the seventh-year seniors returned. I don't know why they returned. Isaac Gifford didn't have the best game today. Ty didn't have the best game today. You think they played some more spark, but yeah. I don't know. Short dogs to what happened to fake Mahomes. Don't do that. Dylan played good today. Don't do that. Agree. Rhule in-game coaching has been suspect from the get-go. I think he knows how to build up a team in the offseason, but I'm not convinced he knows how to call a good game. Trey, you said it better than I possibly ever could. You're so right. I believe that Matt Rhule is a good developer, but I don't believe that he's a good game planner at this point in time. I don't believe he is because he can't win these big ball games. I think he's good at developing young men into good people off the field and good players. I just don't know how good he is at the pure X's and O's, going up against a guy like Brett Bielema, going up against a guy, like Kirk Ferentz, going up against a guy like Ryan Day. I don't know how good of an X and O's head coach he is. So that's frustrating, guys, because I truly believe that Matt Rhule is going to be a good X and O's head coach when we hire. We just haven't seen that so losses. I think Illinois probably had more talent than Bear. I think we got outcoached largely. This game affects our recruiting. For some reason, I cannot pull up. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Why can I not? Do you think this game affects our recruiting? Affects our recruiting. Again, it got football games to recruit on, guys. We didn't win football games. We didn't do it. We need to be better in the trenches on both sides. Exactly. Get offensive line, run a lap. Defensive line, run a lap. Tony White, run a lap. Ed Foley, run a lap. What more can be said? What more can be said? What's your opinion on the TD reversal and some of the no-call penalties? Again, I think some of the calls were suspect. I think the refs struggled today. Just know as Nebraska fans, we're never going to get a call that goes our way. That's not what we do around here. We don't get good calls. I thought the TD reversal was fine. That was a 50-50. Could have went our way. Could have went their way. That's what happened. It went their way. It is what it is. We should have executed after that. And we did it. So I'm not going to complain about the refs because there were a million issues why we lost. Belichick is still up top higher. We're not doing that. I'm fired up. College World 25. Time to win a natty. Hey, man, I might do the same thing tonight. I'm angry. We made Illinois look like Wisconsin for the Big Ten championship in 2012. Yup. Except we didn't get blown out. But, yeah. They dominated that second half, though. They just dominated every aspect of the ballgame that second half, guys. That's what I'm frustrated about. They just dominated us in that second half. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything to stop them. Davidson, overrated? You're darn right we were overrated. I'll be the first to tell you that. That's okay, though. I never wanted to be ranked anyways. Let's get that ranking out of us. Let's get that ranking gone. I don't want to be ranked for a long time. Let's hustle in silence. Let's get the media attention off of us. We didn't deserve it. We don't deserve it. So you're darn right we were overrated, David. We were darn right. All right, guys. Keep putting stuff in the comment section here. UCLA might be the worst team in the Big Ten, lol. Yeah, they're pretty bad. UCLA is pretty bad. Ethan, I love this comment. He says, next few weeks to fire season. You're darn right. How do we respond? The best teams can lose and get punched in the mouth. and come back the next week and still win. Okay, Notre Dame got punched in the mouth versus Northern Illinois. You know what they did? They played Purdue in West Lafayette the next week, and they decimated them. They put up 70 on them. Okay, hey, we have the exact same scenario. We play West Lafayette next week. I'm not saying we'll put up 70, but we're going to find out. We found out how good of a team we were today. We're going to find out how good we're going to be the rest of the season, depending on how we respond. How do we respond when we get punched in the mouth? We'll find out. Alan says, "Do you think this game affects our recruiting?" Yeah, I answered the same comment earlier. Again, I do think it affects our recruiting because you have to win in order to recruit a high level. Again, I could talk about guys visiting this, that, and third NIL, but a lot of these guys care about winning above everything else. I think Michael Terry doesn't care about winning. He cares about winning, But fortunately, recruits were not at this ball game. Recruits were not watching this ball game because they were playing, so it didn't have as a negative impact as it could. But yeah, it definitely hurts. Every loss hurts. Everyone helps. It's just how it's a positive relationship. This guy says hard loss to take two very questionable calls. It could easily change the outcome. Again, let's not blame the refs here. Let's not do it because there were a million things that we did wrong as a team, and there were a million reasons why we lost. Yeah, there were a couple bad calls in there. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact that we got completely outplayed in the second half. We got decimated on the trenches. Doesn't change any of that. Does not change a single thing. So, Dylan's slight overthrow at the end will drive him to get better. I agree with you, man. I completely agree. And again, I'm not going to, Dylan had one bad play, and it sucks that one bad play was the difference between us winning and losing. But it is what it is, and that's football sometimes. But Dylan was not the reason we lost. It was a lot of other issues. It was the offensive line, defensive line. Again, I'm so frustrated about this defense, guys, because I bought into the hype. I didn't know whether or not this offense was going to be consistent. I was worried about the play calling, but I said, if there's one thing I'm confident about, it's this defense performing at a high level, and they played horrendously on national television. What else can be said? What else can be said, guys? What else can be said? Colin says, Rhule has no killer instinct. He plays not to lose and plays for overtime. Yeah, you're right. You're not. He's been too conservative in the past. He was too conservative against Wisconsin last year. He was too conservative against Maryland last year. But I thought it was okay to go to overtime when we had, 30 seconds left. That was fine to go to overtime there. But I wasn't a huge fan of kicking that field goal just with our inconsistency issues. We did the same thing against Wisconsin last year. We kicked that field goal at the end of regulation. We bricked it and sent us to overtime. Same thing happened this game. It's deja vu. Everything's deja vu with Matt Rhule. I'm not blaming Matt Rhule today. We're not doing that. But I agree with you, and I agree with your concern. Put up 70 on Purdue and Iowa for that matter. I agree. Screw it. Let's unleash this team. Matt Rhule, I'm cool with you being, I have good sportsmanship, but let's put up 70. Let's put that to the side. Let's be aggressive, man. And we got a long week. We got one extra. It's gonna be a very tough week, guys. It's gonna be a tough week. We have 8 days until the Purdue ball game. So it's gonna be a long week, and this is a hard game to swallow, and it's even worse to swallow when you think about the fact that the entire nation was watching us tonight, and we crapped the bed. That's what pisses me off above everything else. And they're gonna disrespect us, and I hate getting disrespected. I hate the media coming out of Nebraska. It makes me so angry. Okay, makes me so angry, but it's gonna happen because that's what happens when you become ranked and you lose on primetime television. Okay. Ending the bowl game streak in development at a very minimum. Yeah, that's what needs to happen this year. I agree. Again, we're still going to win 8 games. That's my prediction. But hopefully, the only positive I'll take from this game is that hopefully it humbles the team, it humbles the fan base, and we go take care of business against Purdue next week. We play angry. We didn't play angry enough today. We didn't play like we wanted it today. This defensive line did not play like they wanted it today. So, all my offensive predictions for the rest of the year will be multiplies of 7. I hope so, man. Hope so. I'm glad this loss at least brought me back to reality. Same here, dude. Same here. I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little too much. I was a little too excited. I was a little too pumped about the team. I forgot what it felt like to be a Nebraska fan. And, this is Nebraska football. This is the Nebraska football that I know. Old people who've been around and watched this team in the 90s, 80s, they might not still be accustomed to this football team, but I know this football team. That's everything I've ever known. It's losing close games. So I'm used to it, unfortunately. It is what it is. Tired of hearing y'all talk about the refs. Again, we're not. Yeah, again, not me. I know you're not talking about me, Logan. But yeah, the people in chat. It was not a refs issue. It was not a refs issue today. There were some bad calls. I'll be the first to tell you that. But I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs. I will never, ever, ever sit here and blame the refs unless there was one call that really decided the outcome of the ball game. That did not happen today. There were some bad calls, but they didn't necessarily completely decide the outcome of the ball game. Okay, we weren't good enough. We didn't execute at a high level in the second half. So people are going to cope. Team is solid. I agree. We're still fine. It's just, and I'll repeat what I've said. I'm just frustrated because I was drinking the Kool-Aid too much. I thought we could be in the mix to win 10 games. Brought me back down to earth. I still don't think we're an 8-win team. I still think we're good, but we're not that good. And we should never talk like we're that good unless we somehow miraculously beat Ohio State. That's the first time I'll start talking like that, but I'm not even going to even put that in the air. I'm not going to put that in the air. If we don't make a bowl game, I'll crash out. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. We're gonna win a bowl game. We're too talented. If we don't make a bowl game, my gosh, Matt Rhule might be on the hot seat. I mean, let's be real here. This team is too good. It's too good to not win a bowl game. Ty was in Bayer's face about the fumble recovery. NAD was about. I didn't see it. I was at the stadium, so I was too excited after the fumble recovery. I'm assuming that was when we got the fumble. So I didn't see it. That explains the dark lighting. We're driving home from the game right now. So I wonder if Adam Carragher's gonna vomit over that Kool-Aid he drank this week. I mean, it's not just Adam. I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. Like I was scared. I told you guys I was scared about this game, and I tried to keep it as real as possible. But I was quietly confident. Every Nebraska fan was. It is what it is. But the more Kool-Aid you drink, you're so right, Nathan. The more you'll vomit. Okay. And the more you'll be angry with this team. So, but I'm glad it gave me a little bit of wake up call. So, but this is a wake up call for some of you guys who came at me on Tuesday though, and you said, Wilson, you shouldn't be scared of Illinois. Where are y'all at now? I was right to fear Illinois because they were a good team, just like I predicted them to be. We honestly should have went on. I don't know what you're referring to here. Too bad I couldn't secure the win on the Forest South. That would have been special. They would have, again. The crowd was awesome today, and they did the little card thing. You guys probably saw that on television, but they did the card thing with the Forest South. That was cool. The fans always do their job. It's never a fan issue. It's never a fan base issue. Okay, it's never a media team issue. It's never a production issue. It is always a coaching staff and team issue. They can never give us what we pay money for. We do our part. They just don't do theirs. It's not a symbiotic relationship in the terms of biology. I'm a big Satterfield criticizer. He was the only competent coach today for Nebraska. I don't agree with you, Colin. I thought Satterfield was okay in the first half. My gosh, was he bad in the second half. Again, we only scored 7 points in the second half. So I don't agree with you. Again, was Satterfield the main reason we lost? No, I thought White was worse. I thought it was a complete team effort. It's a team effort when you lose. It's a team effort when you win. I thought Satterfield was bad. I thought the play calls were bad. And the only thing I didn't like about Satterfield, again, we went too much with the passing game. Again, we were throwing on first down. How many times have we ever thrown on first down with Marcus Satterfield as our offensive coordinator? That's never happened. It was like Mark Whipple was bad, guys. So I don't agree with you, Colin. I mean, I don't think you're like necessarily so wrong, but I think he was not great. And again, White was bad too. Foley was bad too. Rhule was bad too. It was all a team effort on the coaching staff. Okay. It was a bad day. It was a bad day to be a Husker fan. Bad day. Should have went for it on fourth and 3. Again, it's easy to say that looking back on it. I agree with you. I agree with you at the time. But I don't know. Matt Rhule's sometimes a little too conservative, and I think he trusts his players a little too much. Yeah. But who's to say if we went for it on 4-3, we would have got it with the way our offense played in that second half? Because I don't think we would have. I don't think we would have got it either way. So, Zach, not sure we didn't see Bayer again after that. Again, I might have to rewatch the game just for these technical purposes for some of my content ideas throughout the week. But I'll try to get an answer to that for you guys tomorrow in my recap video, where I will rewatch the game a little bit tonight. Unfortunately, it'll be pretty painful, but I'll watch it going to bed tonight and cry a little bit, cry myself to sleep. Colin, I'm with you. I'm a Sat hater, but I thought he called a good game. Again, I don't think Sat was awesome. That's just my take. Again, everybody's fine with their own take. Like, I'm not going to. I thought Sat in the second half, when the plays are not scripted, he really shows you who he really is, and he was not good in the second half. We scored 7 points, and we have plenty of offensive talent. But who was the bigger issue? Marcus Satterfield, the offensive line, and their production. I think the offensive line was the bigger issue. So, Trey, this is a great point. I want everybody to read this point that Trey's saying. Do any of our guys have a freaking killer instinct? How bad do they want it? Why aren't they mean? Football players are supposed to be mean. I saw our guys laughing and smiling. You're so right, Trey. And this is something I always say. How bad did these guys want it? I was there screaming out of the game. How bad do you want it? Who wants it? Who wants to make a play? Who wants to win? Clearly, Illinois wanted to win this ball game more. Is that always a story? You know, the vibes of the team. You know what was different? You know what I was at the game, right? So they do the light show between the third and fourth quarter. Nebraska as a team was looking at the light show, pumping up the crowd, having fun. You know what Illinois is doing? They're in their huddle, preparing for their defensive drive. Just something to ponder. The two mindsets there. Nebraska was having fun watching the light show. Illinois was in their huddle. They weren't even focused on that. Something to think about. I really thought we'd turn the page on that recovery, but that play we always needed, and I'm not sure what you're talking about here. After that, the recovery. Yeah, the fumble recovery was lucky too, man. I mean, that would just went our way. That went our way. They said he thought Satterfield was bad. Yeah, I don't think Satterfield called a good game today, truthfully. We also didn't have the ball in the third quarter. Hard to call a good game with 3 minutes of time possession. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Again, the defense didn't do their job. Nobody did their job. Nobody did their job today. Who do you trust more, a backup kicker or Dylan Rhule? It doesn't matter if we don't get it. They get the ball at that spot. I agree with you, but I didn't trust our offense in general today. I didn't trust our offense in general. Like, if we went for a 4th and 3, who's to say we get it? I wanted to go for it at the time, but I'm just saying it wasn't a good odds. It wasn't good odds no matter what. Yeah, I was holding my breath. I had the surrender cobra, man. I was sitting there with the surrender cobra right when he went up and tried that field goal. We've seen the song and dance before, man, and unfortunately, it predicted and played out just how we anticipated to. He missed that field goal. It was an easy field goal. The chip shot. What a freaking joke. Let's get Wilson's like up. There's only 31. Yeah, please, everybody, like the stream. Make sure to subscribe. Appreciate you, Fleck, for a lot of the comments you're bringing. Hey, I know you're probably not a Nebraska fan, but if you could subscribe, that'd help me out. Everybody, subscribe for sure. But yeah, absolutely hit that like button. It'll help more people see this after the stream. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, the lighting's not great. We're in the car going back to Omaha, but it's fun chopping it up with you guys. Despite the loss, it's always fun talking with you guys and seeing what you guys have to say. When your offensive line gets blown out in overtime, you lose. Agree. And when you have stupid penalties to start off your drive, you lose. Again, it was almost like, how could we mess this up? Well, pretty easy to mess things up when you have a false start, you have an intentional grounding. It was 2nd and 40. Like, I joked to my dad, I said, we're going to have to throw a Hail Mary in overtime to tie up the ball game. Like, it's such a joke. It is such a joke. And it's just everything that we always do. I don't know, guys. I'm so frustrated. Nathan said, Nebraska made me an alcoholic. I do not condone that, Nathan. Do not. Let's not do that. Our defense gets torched over the middle. The field been happening all year. We got torched no matter where it was in the field today. They had a bunch of little out routes at the corner of the end zone. I think, okay, so Illinois, scored 4 touchdowns today? Every single touchdown they had was a wide open receiver in the end zone. Every single time. Okay, the one in overtime, wide open player in the end zone. The first one, wide open player in the end zone. The little 4th down and 1, they did a little play action, wide open offensive lineman in the end zone. This whole defense was awful. They had no X factor. They couldn't get a stop when it mattered the most. No freaking X factor, guys. John Butler had a tough day. Don't let him escape the hate. I don't know. I find it. I don't like to blame positional coaches too much after losses because there's only so much that they actually control. I just when I blame the coaching staff or when are we going to do that, like it's better to just talk about the coordinators because those are the guys who call plays. So those are the guys who actually dictate the game plan. Like John Butler's really he's only important in terms of development. So it is what it is. San Jose State is up by 14. They have scored 38. I've not seen that. They're playing. Gosh, remind me who they're playing. Wazoo, right? I might have to watch that when I get back. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That'll be fun to watch. They slept walk through the last 3 games, no energy whatsoever. Yeah, this team, this freaking team, man. They just don't look like they want it out there. And even the tunnel walk, you can tell when the team really wants it. They have energy. They were bouncing off the roof when they were coming out for that Colorado game, guys. The players were hyped. The players were not hyped walking out of the tunnel. You can just tell by the body language. It is what it is. So that falls in everybody, dude. You know what's frustrating? You know what I hate? I wish we could see chasing 3. You guys know, I'm sure you guys know this. Chasing 3 does not post after a loss. So we will not be able to see any of these inside source videos. We won't be able to see Matt Rhule's pregame speech. I would love to see it. I'd love to see what he said. But we'll never be able to see it because they don't post when we lose. So that sucks. The secondary was bad. Yep. Everybody was bad in this defense. It was all bad. Tommy Hill was bad when he played. Marquise Buford was bad. I thought Sierra Wright played decent. Deshaun Singleton. I have not mentioned Deshaun Singleton. Deshaun Singleton had a missed assignment that gave up a wide open touchdown. I think that was the third touchdown for Illinois. He blew the assignment. Absolutely blew it. I do have one critique of Dylan. When it's 4th down and overtime, throw the ball up. You never know what's going to happen. Might even get a PI. Yeah, I had the exact same thought. But you know what I've seen a lot of times in the past? Those kind of just throw it up balls and overtime will get picked off. So I'm okay with them not doing it. But, man, we see, again, the entire offense collapsed in overtime. That's just what we do. We always do that. We always do that. We collapse in overtime. We collapse close games. We did it today. Butler is the pass defense coordinator. Okay, so John Butler, yes, is the pass defense coordinator. That's just in my opinion, is just a title. Okay, when they have these little like executive head coach or associate head coach titles, it's just a title. It actually doesn't really mean too much. It's just a way to pay these guys more money. Like we've had coaches in the past. Like I think Mark Whipple was like, I don't know, what was he, associate head coach? Like the only reason why he had that title was because we wanted to pay him more money. So it's just a title. It doesn't really mean too much. I've never been impressed by Gifford. Yeah, Gifford's had a really I agree with you. I was not even high on Gifford last year. He got burnt versus Michigan. He got burnt versus Colorado. He had a good end of the year, but yeah, I've never been like a big Gifford guy. He's not a good at man coverage. He's a good tackler. But I've never been like a huge Gifford truther. Honestly, chasing through would be more interesting after a loss. I agree with you, Ethan. I wish we could see that stuff, but we won't. We'll never be able to see it. 2014 was the last time we went to overtime. Yeah, and you know who that was against, Nathan? It was against the freaking Iowa Hawkeyes. Kenny Bell. What was that? It was a touchdown in the corner of the end zone, and we won that football game. It's been a decade since we won in overtime. It's been a decade since we got a first down in overtime. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, hold on. This guy says, okay, Fleck, he says he supports the Buffaloes? You're a Colorado fan, man? Oh, where were you at? Where were you at 2 weeks ago, dude? Don't come in here. Don't come in here after we lose. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Fleck. You're a good dude, man. Appreciate you showing support throughout this live, man. All right, guys. I don't want to hold you guys here too longer. I'm almost home. So again, put your final thoughts in the comment section about Nebraska versus Illinois. I'll be back tomorrow with a recap video, talking over the things we've learned. As always, good slate tomorrow from college football games. So there's still some positives. Again, I'll end with the positives today, guys. So again, put in your final thoughts. I'll get to them, but I'll talk about my positives last. Raiola played good. Our receiver core played good. And Nayor, Banks played well. I thought the running backs played well. That's about it. That's about it today, folks. And we got humbled. We got humbled as a fan base. We got humbled as a team. We were always going to lose one of these first couple games. It is what it is. We lost. How do we respond? That's the question. Let's see what this team does going forward. Let's see how we do. All right, guys. Put in your final thoughts in the comment section. Again, I don't want to hold you guys here too much longer. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Really would help me out. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Nathan, appreciate you. Fleck, appreciate you. Tough loss. That's Nebraska football. It's always been Nebraska football. How do we respond? Are we better than the teams of Nebraska in the past? We will find out versus Purdue next week. Just pretty depressing day. Accent, appreciate my boy. He says we gave them almost a full TD in flags, 90 yards roof. Can never fix it. Can never fix the flags. All right, guys. Looks like the chat is done for the night. I don't blame y'all. I'm losing my voice a little bit. So that'll be it for me, guys, here on the live stream. Again, please hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you all for supporting today. It was a good time. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the college football tonight. Enjoy the college football tomorrow. We'll get better from this. We're still going to win 8 games this year, but sometimes you have to take these L's to get better as a football team. Let's hope that's what happens. All right, guys. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Colin, last comment here says Dylan going to transfer if we have a losing season. We're not going to have a losing season, so we don't have to worry about it. All right. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you on the next one. Go Big Red. Got my Rhule. See ya.